How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some creepy clips that no one can quite explain. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content. Just like this. One of our viewers, Jennifer J. Jensen, posted a photo to our Facebook community page, and it's left some commenters wondering whether it shows the ghost of a World War I veteran. Jensen says that back in 2003, she used to own an old inn in Garden Grove, Iowa that dated back to the early 1900s. Over the course of living on the property, some eerie things were experienced, like the regular sound of heavy boots walking back and forth on the second floor landing. One evening, while sitting in the yard behind the inn, Jensen heard some mysterious noises coming from a nearby bush. There was no one around, nor did there seem to be any animals that might be making the racket. Hoping to catch something on film, Jensen took a couple of quick snaps with her old digital camera. In one of the photos, a shadowy figure can be seen standing right near the bush where the sounds were coming from. Jensen thought straight away that the figure resembled a World War I soldier in a cavalry uniform. You can even make out what looks like a hat and riding slacks. Spurred on by the eerie photo, Jensen asked some of the old townsfolk if they knew of any World War I veterans that might have lived in the area. One man, who goes by the name Albert, said he remembered an incident when he was young. He remembers the military police arriving and investigating a disappearance in the town. Sometime prior to 1927, when Albert was a young boy, he was walking by the old inn with his mother when he saw a cavalry soldier on return service leave chatting with another man. A fight broke out, and that was that. However, 3 weeks later, the soldier was reported missing after he never returned to his post in the military. Albert later found out that the young soldier was meeting with his fiance's father to ask for his blessing to marry her. Fearing his daughter would become a young widow, he refused the soldier's offer. It didn't go well, and the fight broke out. At the time, everyone in the town assumed that the soldier had returned to active service. However, the military police were investigating foul play. The young soldier was never found, and to this day, the case remains unsolved. So could this photo show the spirit of a young soldier who may have been murdered? Take another look and make your own mind up. This next one, uploaded by user Paranormal Video, has divided viewers over on Twitter. Take a look. In the background, there's a person riding a horse. However, they look almost transparent. And by the end of the clip, it looks like they disappear altogether. The footage has left some viewers creeped out, saying that it's a ghost caught on camera. However, others think it's nothing more than a poor compression rate and low resolution, causing the horseman to look spookier than normal. So where do you sit on this? Ghost rider or poor camera quality? Let me know in the comments down below. This next eerie image was submitted to our Slapped Ham subreddit by user FriendlyProduce964. The photo, taken in the summer of 2021 in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, shows the OP's son and nephews walking through a wooded area beside a road. At first, everything seems perfectly normal. That is until you notice what looks like a long pair of legs in the top right-hand corner of the shot. If you zoom in, it actually looks like pants and shoes with a cuff line visible. Fellow Redditors were immediately irked by the strange photo, saying that if it belonged to a person, they'd be more than 15 feet tall. Many comments drew immediate comparison to Slender Man, the mythical long-legged creepypasta character of internet lore. Slendy is notorious for stalking and abducting children, which certainly comes to mind when you look at this unnerving image. Of course, there is a chance it's all just pareidolia, but I know if I were in this photo and saw those long legs behind me, I'd be freaked out regardless. When Reddit user PrestigiousAd7950 stayed at the historic Lowe Hotel in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, they had heard of the ghost stories but likely never thought they'd experience any of it firsthand. But after just one night in the old hotel, something very eerie took place. The Lowe Hotel opened its doors in 1901 and is the centre point of Point Pleasant's historical neighbourhood. In the first half of the 20th century, it was a stately establishment where many of West Virginia's high society would gather to host lavish parties in the Grand Ballroom. However, as the decades wore on, the Lowe Hotel became notorious as a heavily haunted property. Guests and staff began to report feelings of unexplained dread and anxiety, and it felt as though you were almost always being watched. There were accounts of disembodied children's laughter and the unmistakable squeak of a tricycle rolling down the hallways. In a third-floor suite that overlooks the Ohio River, guests have reportedly seen a bearded man looking out the window. He says he's waiting for the boat to arrive. However, when the guests look away, he vanishes without a trace. However, one of the most notorious spirits thought to haunt the halls of the Lowe Hotel is that of a beautiful young lady in a nightgown with bare feet. She's allegedly been seen dancing to unheard music. She's said to look at guests with a cold stare, then walk through a door, only to disappear completely. Now this is where the Reddit user's experience comes in. The OP was staying the night with their family when they began to hear strange creaking noises throughout the room, almost as though someone was walking around. Spooked, the family began taking pictures to try and capture the event. In one of the photos, you can make out the distinct imprint of a bare foot made in the dust on an old rocking horse. The creepy thing is, this is the room where the dancing, barefoot young girl is most often reported. The OP says they're just as skeptical as most of the commenters on the thread, but still had no way of explaining how the bare footprint got there. Given the history of the hotel and that there's been dozens of reports of a dancing, barefoot young lady, it certainly does make you wonder whether something paranormal has been captured here. This next eerie photo was uploaded to Reddit by user FlashyAd3423. They were driving through a notorious area of Connecticut that's rumoured to be haunted, when they decided to take some snaps out the front of their car to see if they could spot anything unusual. In one of the pics, you can see a man walking down the side of the road. However, just to the left of the man is what looks like a mist-like apparition. You can make out a torso with arms, but it looks like it's hovering off the ground. While the photo alone could be dismissed as poor lighting or a camera malfunction, it's where this photo was taken that makes it a little more unsettling. Just miles from this sighting is the infamous Dudleytown, an area that's said to be so cursed it became abandoned. Located just south of Cornwall Bridge in Connecticut, Dudleytown is an enigma that has intrigued parapsychologists, historians, and curiosity seekers for years. Numerous mysterious events have been attributed to Dudleytown, including ghost sightings, unsolved deaths, and a curse that travelled across the sea from England with the Dudley family. Dudleytown was first settled by Thomas Griffiths in the 1740s, with Gideon Dudley arriving sometime around 1753. He purchased land from Griffiths, and more members of the Dudley family soon arrived, along with other families, to unofficially establish the town. According to legend, the curse of the Dudleys originated with an ancestor of the family. Edmund Dudley was beheaded in 1510 for plotting against King Henry VII. A curse was placed on the Dudley family at that time, with the curse stating that the descendants of the Dudleys would all experience nothing but horror, pain, and death. The family then began experiencing a cruel run of bad luck that followed them to America. The curse seemed to be running strong in Dudleytown. Several individuals who lived in the town went insane, including one of the Dudley brothers. A woman reportedly hung herself in 1872, claiming to have had visions of demons before she died. Other events that occurred in Dudleytown included a man who fell to his death during a barn raising, a lightning strike that killed another Dudleytown woman, and the disappearance of 2 children who were playing in the woods. Eventually, the area became a ghost town, but around 1900, Dr. William Clark purchased the land and built a summer home. One weekend, while vacationing there with his wife, Dr. Clark was called away, leaving his wife there alone. When he returned a couple of days later, he found that his wife had gone insane, babbling about frightening creatures that had come out of the woods to attack her. She committed suicide a short time later. Today, the land is privately owned and local law enforcement keeps a close eye on the property. Still, some paranormal investigators have managed to gain access to the land, and reports have been made of many eerie happenings, including strange shadows, the sound of disembodied voices, orbs, cold spots, and other unusual events. So it's unsettling to know that this strange photo was taken just miles from a location steeped in murder, madness, and paranormal phenomena. So could the curse of Dudleytown really be true? Take another look at the photo and decide for yourself. Before we take a look at some wild UFO footage that's been captured in South America, remember to hit that subscribe button, then tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be in the loop every time we drop our scary and intriguing videos. On February 8th, 2023, residents across Santiago, the capital of Chile, began to notice two distinct yet unidentified lights floating in the evening sky over the Andes. A compilation of several of the sightings was uploaded by Reddit user Hannibal Vega 44. In the first clip, you can see the strange lights in the hazy evening sky. One of the objects quickly disappears, leaving the second to hover in place.
¿Viste la vaina?
Over time, the second object also disappears. In a second eyewitness account, you can see the objects emerging in the sky. It looks like each object is made up of several smaller lights. They slowly drift through the air throughout the duration of the clip. The nearest major airport is to the west of the metropolitan area, placing it at the rear of both of the camera holders, ruling out landing planes or any other commercial air traffic. Interestingly, the Chilean government has an official department that investigates UAPs and UFOs that's been in operation since 1997. It's funded mostly by the Chilean Air Force. The Reddit user has since stated that they've submitted these sightings to the department for further investigation. Chile has a rich history of UFO sightings, with many cases attracting international attention. One of the most famous sightings occurred in November 2014, when the Chilean Navy was conducting a routine coastal patrol. During the flight, the Navy helicopter's crew spotted an unusual object in the sky, which they described as a flat, elongated object with two thermal spotlights, like discharges that didn't coincide with the axle of motion. The helicopter crew attempted to communicate with the object using both civilian and military radio frequencies, but received no response. The crew then used a high-definition camera to capture footage of the object, which they estimated to be around 35 to 40 feet long. Here you can see the object drifting through the sky. Towards the end of the clip, the unidentified object begins to leave a plume of discharge. The sighting lasted for over 10 minutes until the mysterious object disappeared among the clouds. The footage was later analysed by the Chilean government's agency in charge of investigating UFOs that we mentioned earlier, and the US-based scientific organisation, the Mutual UFO Network. Both organisations concluded that the object was a genuine UFO and that it was not a conventional aircraft, a drone, or any other known object. The incident gained widespread attention when the footage was released to the public in 2017. The event is considered one of the most significant UFO sightings of the 21st century and has been widely discussed in the media and among UFO researchers.
Well, that's the end of this episode. If you enjoy these scary video clips, then why not check out our back catalogue with these two links right here. Also, in the comments section below, let us know which one of these segments was the weirdest or creepiest for today. We'd love to hear from you. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.